Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to be answering a couple questions about communication, power, and leadership based on my own experiences as a student and a job applicant. I'll be using several course concepts from the textbook to break down exactly what happened and what I learned. Um, the first question I chose was, what type of power do I have as a student, and how does that influence my communication? As a student, one of the main types of power I have is connection power. And this power directly influences how I communicate with classmates, professors, and even administrators. Connection power, which page 250 of our textbook defines as influence based on who you know or the strength of your support network, really matters because it often determines how comfortable you are speaking to uh, your administrators, sharing ideas, or even just advocating for yourself. For example, last semester, I worked on a group project with two of my peers, and we had trouble trying to divide the responsibilities. And so I had already known this professor. I had taken a class with him last semester, and so we had built a certain rapport. And so I felt comfortable advocating for the group, getting clarification on things we needed, asking questions, and they kind of leaned on me and relied on me for that. And I came to realize how valuable that can be. Another thing I really realized was traits. One of the traits I have, um, and trait being from page 247 of our textbook, defined as a stable characteristic of a person or their communication. One of the traits I had was I'm an organized person. And so that really helped me keep everyone on track. It was really valuable in a group setting because I could see how much that was needed and how vital that was to our coursework. Um, and I just think those things really helped me. Overall, I feel like my communication as a student is influenced not just by my skills, but by the powers I do hold, um, that connection power, and also just my traits. I think that they've been a big help in developing my communication. So, on to question two, thinking about my last job interview, how effective was the interviewer and what could they have improved? Um, so, in my most recent interview, the interviewer was polite but not very effective, and several communication errors were made that I felt could have been avoided. Um, interviews, they require clear expectations, balanced dialogue between both parties, and just a sense of safety. Um, and I feel like when those things are missing, um, both parties, but especially the interviewee, can feel unsure and just unconfident about what this might all entail and the direction of the interview. Um, and so in this interview, the interviewer, he was asking rapid fire questions without much explanation. It really reflected a Theory X approach from page 252 of our textbook. Defined as like the idea that people are inherently lazy and they just won't work unless they're closely controlled by a supervisor, kind of micromanaged. And I kind of felt like that's how he was communicating his needs. Um, he didn't really try to create any rapport or like really build any connection power, even though that would have helped to make the whole interaction smoother and um, just give me the confidence I needed in him as a supervisor and as a boss. Um, and I just felt like some of the traits that I have um, weren't really shown and didn't get a chance to um, flourish because it was a communication breakdown on both sides. Um, so really, I just feel like if the interview could have been, it could have been far more effective if the interviewer avoided Theory X and really just tried to focus more on a balanced communication between both parties. Um, but across both of these experiences, school and job interviews, I've learned how power, personality traits, and management assumptions can really shape communication. By understanding these concepts, I can navigate certain communication conversations more confidently and scenarios where maybe I used to feel uncomfortable, but now I have the concepts to succeed. Thank you.